Our top story today, Boeing. Its new CEO, David Calhoun, officially takes the helm of the embattled company today as that plane maker tries to recover from two fatal crashes of 737 MAX aircraft that killed 346 people in a period of 5 months. In a letter to employees, Calhoun said in part, "This is a crucial time for Boeing. We have work to do to uphold our values and to build on our strengths. I see greatness in this company, but I also see opportunities to be better, much better." Let's bring in our panel for the next 90 minutes. Liz Young, BNY Mellon Investment Management Director of Market Strategy, and Yahoo Finance's Akiko Fujita. Before we dive deep into the specifics of Boeing, I'm curious, Liz, if you have some thoughts about how a publicly traded company, when it suffers a setback, what do they need to do to maintain investor confidence as well as the confidence of their employees and their shareholders?
Well, in this case, I think they've already lost a little bit of confidence. And the good thing that's going on here is that as far as competition goes, there's not a whole lot in that space out there. But the statement that was made that we need to build on the reputation we have, I think they're actually in a period now where they have to rebuild. And they need to rebuild the confidence that investors can stand behind this company, the confidence that passengers can get on their planes, right? I mean, this is a serious thing. So now they're in crisis management and they're in this sort of like clean up the pieces mode. And I think the important thing is that you do have to replace leadership, and that's sort of a given. And it's important that they continue to do that and they continue to be visible out in the open about what's happened, what they're doing to move forward.
No, I agree 100%. I mean, I think this is the change in leadership is the first step in a very long road for Boeing. And it's not just about the 737 MAX anymore. That's how this all started. But I think since then, there's been a lot of questions and really a lost confidence on the brand itself. Last week, we were talking about the emails that came out. You know, there's been one story after another talking about the culture within the company. And I think there's a lot of questions, not just among investors, but also the flying public that says, is this a company that is putting profits before safety? And that's going to be a long road for David Calhoun to push forward on the messaging. And it's really, I think he's going to be judged by what exactly the company does under him.
Yeah, so far, this, sending out an email, I suppose, on the first day is the least that you have to do. Then the question is, what do you do culturally to change a company? I mean, there have been instances in history where something like this happens and the company moves forward. I always think of Johnson & Johnson, right, with the Tylenol situation back in the day. But changing a culture is not an easy thing to do.
It's not an easy thing, and I don't think we should get confused between the culture within the firm and then the safety outside the firm, right? So as a passenger, I fly on a weekly basis. I'm less concerned with how the employees are really feeling at the company than I am with me getting on a plane that's going to stay in the air, right? So I think we have to make sure that we're focusing on the right thing. What I think in this case, and even that example, right, the Tylenol example, sometimes you have to take drastic measures, and it might surprise everybody, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
We made a big issue during the financial crisis of too big to fail. Now we have a major manufacturer that is literally too big to fail, and its slowdown is going to subtract 0.5% from GDP on the U.S. economy. We've had analysts say that. We had Secretary Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, say that this weekend. Does the government need to, I don't like government getting involved where it might not be needed, but we have one player in this field and we need them. It's too big to fail. We have no choice.
Right. I think at some level, I wouldn't necessarily be against the government getting involved. I don't know that the government necessarily needs to save them, but I don't feel like they're in a place where they need to be saved yet. So in the sense of, what do they do going forward? Where do they get those resources from? I think we do have to wait and see and give new leadership a chance to really turn some of this around. But going forward, I think it's really important that they do things that are statements, that they do things that are visible, that they're clear about what the intention is, and that they're bold about some of those moves.
Hey investors, Zach Guzman here. Are you interested in learning more about the markets and getting the latest financial news? Well, then click right here to subscribe to our Yahoo Finance YouTube channel. Get the latest up-to-the-minute market analysis, big interviews in the world of finance, and information on how to manage your money every day wherever you are.